The clash is beginning in the middle, and in they go. This is where it really starts. It has been a pretty mental few days. The last few videos you guys have absolutely loved, and why stop now if you guys are enjoying it? We've looked at archer only, we've looked at horse archer only, and yesterday we looked at crossbow man only. But today we're going into more of the specifics, more of the minor factions in Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord, and one of them being the Legion of the Betrayed. Now the Legion of the Betrayed, of course, is a callback to some very well-known troops. These guys used to be part of what the Empire once was, but it sort of split up, and the Legion of the Betrayed are the remnants of the glory days. As you can see, you might recognize these names as Hastati, Principes, and Triarii, names taken from the early Roman Empire, being light, heavy troops, and experienced spearmen. And I've seen them around Bannerlord for some time. They've been in the vanilla game, but you've never really been able to get them. They've been very rare to get, but what if you were able to? How good are these guys? Could they really bring back the Rome that once was? And look, I know this slightly relates into my Rebuilding Rome Let's Play series, where I'm trying to use these types of troops to actually make Rome what it once was, but I think this is a good test to see if these are actually troops worth getting, if you eventually can find them. So we have 10 Hastati. They are the lightest troops and the lowest tier troops of the Legion of the Betrayed, but let's put them up against 20 looters and see how well they do. Let's go. Let's move up into position. Alright, my men are moving forward now. Gonna get into position. They have javelins, so they should be pretty good. And off they loose with some of their javelins. Already taking down multiple enemy troops, doing a lot of damage here. But here now, the battle is starting. Now, the Hastati are taking a bit of a beating. They're not the most heavily armored guys ever, but they can do a decent job. And their men seem to be running off already. Oh, and a javelin shot to the throat. That was awesome. That was beautiful. Now, I have to say, this armor, the shoulder pads, look so nice together with the gauntlets. They look reminiscent of the old Lorica Segmentata days. So, that being a victory to the Hastati, they did a pretty good job. Now, someone said in my last video they wanted to have a look at more of the stats after, so they could just see exactly what goes down. We didn't lose a single guy, and of course, we got some good upgrades off that. And of course, the looters were completely wiped out, with only 2 being wounded and the rest running away. Later on, of course, getting more men, we have 40 Hastati now. They're going to be doing their job against a minor faction. You can see the cavalry already coming in, trying to get some hits off, but the sheer amount of javelins might just overwhelm this guy. I think this is actually the leader of the minor factions, and the horse has already gone down, and the javelins coming in. I think some are going to hit. I think some are going to take her out. They're not the most accurate in the world, but oh, there goes one to the shoulder. Are we going to get any more? Putting up the shield, will it be enough? It looks like so many javelins are coming in. And one to the side of the heads. Absolutely brutal. Oh my god, that is a thumbnail and a half. The enemy's now coming through. They have the longer range throwing stuff. Our guys aren't the most agile when it comes to throwing, but then again, in comes the javelins now. Yeah, they're not the strongest javelins in the world, but they can still do some decent damage, as you saw at the start. And one takes one to the knee, throwing knives coming in every which way. These guys are really going to stand up and give a good fight. Now, they're not all that different to the minor faction that's coming towards them. But since now we have the numbers advantage due to, of course, the javelin mash throwing, I think we still should come out on top. Even though, as you can see, this minor faction has a quite heavier guys. It doesn't look like it will actually matter when it comes to it in the end. And there they go. The last few going down. Go on, buddy. You can make it. You can make it out of here. Oh, javelin coming in, and that is the end of him. He didn't even throw. The rest of his throwing knives are still in his pocket there. But down they go. Down they go. And here we have a great success. One of our men got knocked out, but the rest did a pretty good job. Okay, so as the game goes on, we still have about 40 troops, but we now have some Principes in the ranks. As you can see, these guys have much better armor, they have better javelins, and they might be able to do a better job, especially against these heavier horse archers of a caravan that, yes, outnumbers by around 10 men, but I don't know if it's really going to matter. You can see the javelins coming in thick and fast, trying to do as much damage as possible, but will it be enough? Oh, and one horse archer has been taken down by the javelins already. They're trying to defend themselves, but it looks like the horse archers are being dispatched pretty smoothly, especially because we have big shields, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, taking the javelin straight to the knee. That's what we like to see. Oh, that was coming in really high. Ooh, nearly hit him in the head. Right, let's see if we can get our men to clear these guys up. Unfortunately, they have used most of their javelins on these horse archers, which isn't great, but as you can see, it was probably worth it. But that's not all of them. They've got more cavalry over there. I don't like the look of that. One has been dismounted. Oh dear, and he is taken down. I've just realized, using the spectator camera, if you go into spectator mode whilst in first person, your head doesn't exist. Fantastic. You're right there, mate. Heads reattached. We're moving back into the battle. It looks like the charge is coming up on us, so let's make sure our men are in a good formation. They might get charged in the back here. I might have made a mistake. They've got heavy cavalry coming in thick and fast. In they come, charging into the front lines, but it looks like we have managed to form up in time. And now we don't have the javelins left, but we do have each other, and we have heavy swords and heavy shields. And the legionaries charge in, of course. The Hastati, the Principes, doing what they can, taking out these heavy cavalry, and doing an absolutely fantastic job of it. There's just a few more left to take out. They look like they're being dispatched pretty quickly, though. And here are the archers. Oh my, this is going to be the real test of the shields of the legionaries. I think they're going to be fine, though. These are pretty lightly armored archers. They're not going to be the most effective, especially, as you can see, that Principe just holding up a shield. The archers are completely locked down, while his friend, another Principe, comes in from the side. Unfortunately, his friend didn't use the shield as well as the first one, so he took a lot of damage to the head. But with that heavy helmet, it didn't seem to matter. A few more archers trying to stand their ground, but it doesn't look like it's going to be too successful. The legionaries just keep on coming. Oh, and a one taken down, going flying. A swarm now, but as we can see, there are some dead Hastati. These are the lighter troops that was expected, but we do have a dead Principe here, so it's not all plain sailing. These guys aren't unstoppable. They do have their weaknesses, and it looks like cavalry seems to be one of them. I think it says it all when you have this many arrows in your arm and shield. You have done a great job of protecting yourself, my friend. And that is a victory for the Hastati and Principes. But I think it's time for the Hastati to level up somewhat. Now, we did in fact lose 8 men there, which is pretty brutal, but we were heavily outnumbered, and of course, they did have the cavalry advantage. And with that, all the Hastati have leveled up to the Principes. Look at these gorgeous guys. We have 77 of them. They should do a great job when it comes to the battles. I mean, look at the detail on their armor. Yes, it is leather armor. Some people might get triggered, and it is studded leather armor. But they look gorgeous. They have the big kite shields. That is not quite in the right place. And they also have the javelins and a great spar. Well, it looks like we have been attacked by a massive party here. They have 169 in one and 90 in the other. And we only have the 77 Principes. This could be interesting. I don't think we're going to win this, but let's see how many we can take out in the process. Look at these guys in their shield wall. They look so goddamn awesome. The enemy army is looking rather big, and they're starting to fire down on us already. Will we be able to protect ourselves? Oh my word, look how many there are. But fortunately, a lot of them seem to be recruits, so that could fare well for us. They have low morale, and of course they don't hit quite as hard, and not as hard as these guys. Look at that. Look at that. Go on, men. They're getting ready with their javelins. They're going to start throwing very soon. And the first volley is going off. Here they come down on the enemy. These guys don't have shields as well, so this could do a lot of damage. You can see people going down already. It's more of a 1 or even a 2-hit kill with these javelins because of the weaker armor of the attackers. The javelins really coming in thick and fast now, and the clash is starting to happen, and so it begins. The Principes will be holding their ground. That shield wall is doing a great job, but they're starting to wrap around the outside. They are being slowly pushed back. But as we can see by the chat, it's not all doom and gloom. We are getting the kills in. We are getting the kills in pretty goddamn well. Although we are losing men. And of course, since we are heavily outnumbered, we want to be losing way less men than they do. But it's going pretty well so far. We still have 66 men. We've only lost 10 so far on the battlefield. But we're starting to lose formation. So it's probably best if we get back into a good shield wall formation. Okay, the shield wall is being reformed, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. There seems to be just too many enemies here. The battle rage is on. I think the Principes are taking just too many beings. They did a great job at the start, but now the Legion has broken its formation. It doesn't look like it's going to end too well for them. And the last few are trying to survive, but they are going down pretty thick and fast. As with all of these videos, we need to see just how good these guys are when it comes to sieging a castle. Now, if we look back at our army, you see we have 105 men now. We have 79 Principes and 25 Triarii. This is the final level up, as you can see. These guys are very, very powerful. If we look at their stats, they go from 100 to 200 one-handed, which is going to be incredible, but also their polearm skill goes up because, of course, Triarii have great spears. I mean, they have these awesome capes, but unfortunately the shield goes straight through, so it doesn't look quite as awesome as it could do. With a large amount of siege weaponry built, we have finally got round to attacking the castle. Yes, we have a lot here. We have a siege ram, of course, and a tower. Actually, we have 2 towers, if I'm going to be honest. There's one over there as well, and a trebuchet, which is the best version of the shays. Are you alright there, mate? As I mentioned previously, we have a mixture of Principes and Triarii hoping to do their job when it comes to the main battle, but goddamn do they look awesome here. And the first trebuchet rock goes off. Let's see where this hits. Oh, and it takes off the crenellations, and that means the archers have retreated down because they have lost all cover up there. The defenses, they're not too big. I think this should be pretty doable. As you can see, they have a lot of spearmen, which isn't the best for defending the walls, but they do have quite large numbers, more than we do. Up comes the battering ram here. Unfortunately, you can't put up your shield when you're pushing the battering ram, so they are a little bit in danger of getting hit by stray arrows. And as you can see, some have already. This Triarii is taking a bit of a beating. Now, the walls aren't big enough to warrant a full siege tower, so we don't get the cool ones with ladders, but these ones work pretty well, especially since the new update when they've fixed people running up them. So they work absolutely fine now. At least that's what I'm hoping. And we have reached the door with a battering ram now. That will start to be hit down, and it looks like both the siege towers are getting onto their place, and the ram smashing through that gate there. This side, it looks like they're up, and it looks like there's only archers on this side. This could be an easy capture of the wall. Now, remember, they do have reinforcements down, so they could come up and help, and it looks like that's probably what's going to happen. Yeah, reinforcements coming along the wall now. But we are up on the wall and we're doing a great job. We seem to be pushing mostly down that way into the keep, which is the good idea really to get that gate open. But the battle rages on this side as the siege tower comes down as well. Swinging wildly, the Principe almost chopped his friend's neck there, and his friend gave him the sword back, but doing a great lot of damage. It looks like we've come through the gatehouse onto the other side now, and it's just a matter of time before this gate is battered down, and then the real fighting commences. Some units have made their way down. Some Romans trying to do their job. They're fighting for their homeland. I mean, in the Bannerlord AI type way, but they're still fighting. And we have broken through. I'm going through with my horse, just trying to break up their formation now. Oh, I don't even have a sword out. This is embarrassing. Trying to hit them with my fist is not the best way to do it. But we are in here doing some damage still. Taking them down one by one. Slicing and dicing. They do have shields, but it's not enough. There are a few enemies still left, but it looks like their castle has fallen. And you know they're fallen when they retreat out of their own gate. But it doesn't really matter because we have men waiting on the other side just to mop them up when they need to be. And that is a victory to us. Look at the dead on the walls. Absolutely brutal. They didn't even use any of their rocks here. I don't think... I mean, they fired a few shots with their onager, but it didn't really make any difference. Down here, we still have the trebuchet. And there's a man still running away. Is he going to make it? I think he will, because he is, of course, a lot lighter. Or maybe, actually, we have better athletics. So if he gets stuck on this rock... Oh, he has been stuck on the rock. Thank you, AI, for killing yourself. And down he goes with a swift knock to the face. So yeah, we lost 7 men and we had 4 injured, but that was nothing compared to the defenders. 84 dead and 32 injured. That was a successful siege. Now the 93 troops we have left have all been upgraded to Triarii. We're going to see how well they do against an army of 165 here. Yes, we are outnumbered, but I think we've got this in the bag. As you can see, a lot of these guys are recruits. So they'll be chopped down like butter through butter with a hot knife. Okay, unfortunately we are in a forest here, which is going to make it a little bit more difficult when it comes to firing our javelins, but I don't think it's going to matter too much because they should be on some flat-ish ground. Yeah, we're bumpy over here, but it looks like it gets a bit flatter over here. Saying this though, it looks like they do have somewhat of a hill advantage, so if they have any ranged, now is the time for them to use it. In come the cavalry, as it always does. I don't know why they always just send cavalry to suicide charge at the beginning, but they do. We're going to hold our fire with our javelins, of course, because we don't need to use them. Up our men move through the forest like true Romans capturing Britannia. They should know when they are conquered. I think the enemy is just over this hill, if I'm correct. Yeah, it looks like they are. They don't seem to be in much of a formation, though. This is what happens when you weren't trained by the Legion of the Betrayed. Oh, they do have crossbowmen, though, that are starting to fire. Now, is this a sight to behold or what? Look how gorgeous these men look with their red scutum kite shields and their capes, looking brilliant as the Triarii they are. Now, they are initially spearmen, really, but I don't think it should really matter because they do have the Sparthers as well, so they should do pretty good when it comes to actually close melee fighting. Well, the crossbow bolts are coming in now, but I don't think it's going to really make much difference. We have the shields. That's basically the counter for any sort of crossbow, so it's not going to matter at all. This is what it looks like from the direction of the enemy. Look at that trained guard there, moving up on you as you are a complete rabble because your leader is already dead. You have no one to give you orders, so they're just messing about, and there are a trained force of true goddamn Romans. Look at that. They threw a rock. They threw a rock at my men. What is that going to do? And in they go. The Triarii go for their attack, going into a heavily, can I remind you, outnumbered force. But I don't think it's going to matter. Our men are just so much better trained. Look at the formations they're fighting in. They are tightly packed and they have surrounded around the outside. It is just going to be a slaughterfest at this point. One of their men thinks that they can try and flank us, but he has indeed just ended up flanking himself. He's about to get a chop to the back here by this Triarii. He's going in for the stab on this man, and this is going to be brutal. And the head chop to the face. You have never seen something so goddamn beautiful. Whatever's left of these Empire troops are just being completely demolished. This is what happens when you betray the Roman Legion. This is what happens when the Empire truly falls and the only remnants are these men. But it doesn't matter, because these men know what they're doing. They may be old veterans of the past wars, but they can still put up a heavy fight. And the last few are being slaughtered and taken out. It's not even a competition at this point. These heavily armed troops are fantastic. And once again, besieging a massive city just so we can pull in the biggest army possible of the Empire. Now, this is the final battle. I do this in all of the videos and I absolutely love it. At the end of the day, these videos are just for fun. Yeah, you might get something out of that. You might see, yeah, that troop's pretty good. I might use that later on. But really, it's not actually supposed to be a guide video. It's just a lot of fun to see how well each troops fare in different situations. And we always end it on a big blast. This is 500 Roman Triarii against probably what's going to end up being the whole of the Empire. The army is growing. Oh my, are they growing? Look at them all. Look at them all. I feel like they're going to wait for one more party and then they're going to come in thick and fast. Surely this should be it by now. How many men do they need to attack us? Oh, here they come. This is it. So they've pulled out all the stocks, 849 men against my 479. Let's see just how well the Triarii do. And the arrows are already coming in from the enemies so far, but I don't think it's going to do anything. We have a shield wall up, and it's literally just hitting them. The ones behind, I love how Bannerlord does it. The ones behind raise their shields just that little bit higher than the ones in front, being able to protect their heads, because, of course, the legs are already defended by the ones in the front line. It looks awesome, these guys, because they have the shorter spears as well. They are able to just poke them out a little bit. And this is what they are up against. This is truly a horde of Empire. But look at that formation up there. They look fantastic. I think they're probably going to be at risk of getting surrounded though, so they might have to break formation once the battle actually starts. But for now, the clash is beginning in the middle, and in they go. This is where it really starts. The peasants are leading the charge at the front. They're going to be taken down quickly. This is fantastic for my Triarii because we're going to be able to get some easy kills in to lower the morale from the start. And so it begins. The front line is holding for now, but it's only a matter of time before they get surrounded. The cavalry charge has been given, and they are starting to charge into the back of my men. It's time to get the Triarii to break formation and charge in, because otherwise they get surrounded. Unfortunately, Bannerlord shield walls don't work fantastically when you're outnumbered, because you get surrounded and you have to break it anyway. But there's a lot of blood and gore going on at this moment in time. It's hard to tell who is coming out on top at the moment, but it looks like we're still able to hold the line. I haven't seen too many Triarii bodies, but then again, I haven't seen too many Empire bodies, so only time will tell. It looks like, according to the kill feed, we are doing a fantastic job here. Yeah, we're still losing a few guys, but... Oh, they're getting their reinforcements up to try and do a flank over there. Let's try and break up that flanking force there. We don't want that at all. Thank you very much. Stay out of this. Stay out of this. But the Triarii still stand. Their spears are doing a fantastic job against the cavalry, which is probably the biggest weakness of the Principes and the Hastati before them. Unfortunately, the Bannerlord cavalry doesn't seem like it's playing very much like cavalry. They're just getting in there and swiping. But we are now starting to push back. From the start, it looked like our line was falling behind a bit, but we are pushing them back. As you can see, this was the previous front line here, and boy, is it being pushed back. The retreat has been given. We've got reinforcements coming in now. We've obviously lost a few men, but it doesn't look like it's too many. I think it's time to reform the wall before the enemy reinforcements coming in. As you can see, they are off in the distance there. There's still a few enemies on this side, but it looks like they're being taken down nice and fast, being dispatched by my Triarii, and a few reinforcements coming in. But it looks like the enemy are bringing in another wave. They have some light troops, a lot of archers in this reinforcement wave, and another massive group of cavalry. This is going to be a bit of a worry. Fortunately, we do have short spears, but if they charge in while we're focused on their infantry, it could prove to be a bad thing. I can't get over just how beautiful this formation does, and especially in the sunset here, it looks goddamn beautiful. There's me going in, chopping at him. Go on, boy. Go on, boy. Do you? Oh, he's gone. He's had enough. He's going to sit behind the line for a little bit longer. The front line is holding pretty well. As you can see, these guys are just coming at these trained Roman Triarii with nothing but picks and axes. It's not going to do very well against these heavily armed shields. Are they reforming? It looks like they're reforming. They have split off from the front line now. They thought it was a little bit hopeless just trying to go straight in. Well, there's some high arrows. That guy's very, very lucky. As you can see, it just went straight into a shield there. Now that is a screenshot and a half. Oh my word. This game is absolutely stunning. We've done it, boys. We've made it in life. Look at this. Look at that. I just wanted to get the horse rear in there and instantly hit by a rock. It's Mountain Blade after all. The enemies seem to be completely pulling back, so I think pushing forward is probably our best bet here. I don't know if they're doing a feigned retreat. It doesn't look like they're doing a full retreat. So yeah, it looks like they're just pulling back to this area, regrouping. They do still have a large amount of men, but they don't have the biggest group. So we're just going to hold in this position. We're going to hold our line. We're going to make sure we're strong here. Two forces staring down each other. The amount of screenshots I'm able to get off this episode, my god. I'd need to make a whole goddamn gallery. But a cavalry charge has been given on this side. They're coming into the right flank of our army. Oh, that has done a decent amount of damage, and they have called in the infantry. That was a good charge by them. They have done a fantastic job. AI doing a great job, but we're still holding the line here. We're trying to split off a little bit at the back just to try and get some damage done to these cavalry, and it looks like it's working. I think initially they are going to be able to push us back somewhat with their infantry, but I don't think it's going to last for too long. The fight going on into the sunset now. These guys are absolutely surrounded. We've managed to get behind them with our Triarii here, doing a fantastic job of flanking around the side of the enemy front line. They have done an alright job of flanking around our front line with cavalry, but I don't think it's going to be enough. As you see, we've completely pushed them back on the right flank. Their right flank is falling, their left flank is falling, their centre is still holding for now, but they're about to be enveloped from both sides. Their cavalry doing what they can, but really when they're in a slugging match like this, they're not really going to be any match for my Triarii whatsoever. This is the end of the Empire. The Legion of the Betrayed has taken back their rightful place in the land. Yes, they were cast out from what once was, but they are coming back strong. The Hastati, the Principes, the Triarii, doing what they can to bring back the former glory of the Roman Empire. Now, of course, Bannerlord doesn't really recognize these as actual Romans because they're not. They're a fantasy faction, but they're based on the late Byzantine Empire, which of course was a mix of cultures of Greece and Romans and a lot of other places. But of course, I feel like when you start calling your men Hastati, Principes and Triarii, you're hinting towards something quite big. In the future, there's going to be so many Roman mods that are coming, and I can't wait to see them. I'm going to be playing them as soon as they come out. I have some insider information for a few of them, some cool screenshots that if you guys want to see in a full video, make sure you leave a comment down below if you want to see some updates on some upcoming Roman mods. But as you can see, the Triarii, the Principes, the Hastati, they do a great job. Whether you actually find them on the battlefield is going to be very rare to do, but just seeing them in action I think is enough, especially with the beauty of Bannerlord as the background. And chasing off the last few, it is fair to say this has been a glorious victory. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please leave a comment on what troop armies you want me to do next as this Aserai veteran runs off. He is fast, so he might get away, but look at him go. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and like the video if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment of your next army you want to see, but until then, I will see you in the next one.